By the light of the sun, by the depth of the moon, by the flame of the wand, and by the pentacle of earth, I call upon the guides of wisdom, the ancestors of the craft, and the holy guardian angel. Guide us now through the stations of the dove and serpent. Reveal what is hidden, so we may transform it into light. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Today we walk the path of the dove and serpent spread, an 11-fold journey of transformation. Each position reveals a unique aspect of your journey, alternating between the essence of your being and the events that shape your destiny. Remember to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the adjustment card. This is some Libra energy, okay? I think you're somebody who is evaluating things in life, right? You're kind of in this period of evaluation and assessment. Okay, now this is our first position. It's called the station. It reveals our current sort of preoccupation, our current energy. The current state of your being reflects kind of what we're working on personally, or how we see ourselves right now. And this is somebody who is trying to judge the relative value of everything in their life. We're trying to kind of weigh options. We're trying to prioritize. We're trying to weigh everything in our lives, right? How much does this mean to me? How much does this mean to me, right? So I think you're somebody who is, you're very thoughtful right now. I feel like you're kind of taking inventory of your life. You're taking stock of what you have and kind of what's motivating you right now. I think also there seems to be something going on in your life that is involving a professional relationship, or some kind of I don't know if it's a negotiation or some kind of an exchange with somebody, okay? And it could be that we're kind of in the middle of some business deal or some kind of a work compromise or negotiation, or maybe it's something about, maybe we're trying to go for a raise or a promotion, or we're trying to get the job, or going for the interview. There's something like that happening in your life, I can feel. But you're the type of person that right now is trying to understand the balance of life, figure out like, where do we need to make some concessions or compromises? Where do I need to pull back a little bit? Where do I need to kind of go heavier in certain areas? This card is all about higher wisdom and discernment. This card is all about using those high-level spiritual functions to decide what I want and what I don't want. How are we making decisions? Is it from ego? Am I just kind of, if it feels good, do it. If it feels bad, don't do it. Or is there something higher in you that is kind of saying, well, this may feel good, but it's not good for me right now. And then over here, this may not feel so good in the short term, but I know that this is where my growth really is, is calling me, So this is about us judging the relative value of things, and in the moment-to-moment sort of discernment to be able to make good choices, okay? And I think that's kind of, maybe that's what you're considering. This is the position that, represents what's on our mind when we go to sleep at night. What's like the last thing you think about at night? And I kind of feel like we're evaluating our decisions, or maybe we're trying to make a choice between things that seem kind of equally good, possibly. Yeah. We need to put this into a little bit of context, all right? So we're going to use our dove and serpent spread. Now, Aries, you are not here by accident, okay? You're meant to see this message. Here we have an Ace of Pentacles. We have a 5 of Wands. We have a 3 of Pentacles, a 2 of Pentacles, a 10 of Wands. Nice, okay. That is like all in. That is taken on a huge weight in your life. And I think that really is the choice that we're making. Are we going to take this next opportunity? Are we going down this pathway? I feel like you understand that it's going to be a level 10 energy kind of requirement here. Okay. We have that's very good, too, a Queen of Swords. A 6 of Wands, good fire energy. we have, a Knight of Wands. That is your superpower card. It's in a weird position, which we'll talk about, but this is the card, the Knight of Wands, that represents the Aries energy in action, okay? And finally, Two of Cups. I think that you're considering the value, the relative value, or I don't know where to put these. You're considering the priority, you're considering the value or the worth, or like, should I take this job? Should I take this chance? Should I do this thing? Is this to begin this thing? Is that the right thing for me? You know? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. Look what we have. It has a volunteer. We have the Temperance card. That's actually quite nice. And I think that that's important that we do temper ourselves here a little bit. And I'll tell you why. But first, here's our mystery card, our little friend, the Eight of Tentacles. We'll go right there on top, our little octopus. And we're not going to look at this card until the end. It will tie everything together, so you do have to stay till the end of the reading, right? But it's going to bring us the closure that we need. It's going to bring us the confirmation, okay? Probably a green light, I would imagine, or a caution, maybe a word of caution. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. Let's take a look around the room. The only major arcana card we started with was the Justice card, or adjustment, but then we also got Temperance. And we got Temperance because it's kind of like we don't want to make any kind of rash or extreme decisions right now, and that's why you've got your Aries superpower card, but in the position of the obstacle, because you're trying to make sure that you don't do anything impulsive, that you don't do anything rash that you may regret, right? We don't want to just react to something, you know, with something something shiny over there. Ooh, I'll take it. No, we want to pause. We want to temper our reaction. Your initial reaction might be, let's do it. Let's go quickly. And you're kind of, you know, you're learning to to pause for a beat, as they say, and take a breath and temper our reactions. And if I'm so excited about this new thing, maybe I need to slow down, temper myself a little bit so that I can just assess things and I can just be sure that this is the right thing. And then I can go steadily forward into it. So this isn't a card that's saying no. It's saying, let's just, if we feel that impulsive right now, let's just wait a minute. Let's just hold ourselves back slightly so that we can make sure this is right. And I think this is absolutely perfect. I think this is what you're kind of doing as well. That seems to be your energy right now too. Okay. So we have the major arcana. We have fire, 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 fire. A lot of fire. We need to temper that fire. And that's why that card had to volunteer. It kind of said, no, wait. Too much fire. I need to come out and bring this message of don't let the fire overwhelm you. Don't let the fire kind of get you so excited and so enthusiastic that we act before we think. That's all. That's all, right? And then we have a little bit of water, a little bit of air, your heart and your mind, right? And then we've got the earth, and earth cards. So this is about a kind of we're getting fired up about something on the physical plane, okay? And I think that it's really going to be it's going to be a positive path for you. Here we have as our second card, the Ace of Pentacles. And this represents a new beginning, a seed that's being planted on the physical plane, whether this is a new financial opportunity, a new career path. Maybe it's a new goal that we've set, and maybe it's maybe it's a physical health kind of thing. This is health, wealth. This is physical. This is financial. Okay, and it's something new. And I think what we're doing is with the second card, this is called the battlefield, right? Kind of reveals like what the event is in your life that we're kind of spending so much time weighing the options, considering and trying to invoke that higher wisdom and discernment in order to make the right choice. There's something that we're about to begin, or that is already started in our life. There is perhaps new goals that we've set, and now we're kind of we're in that process of kind of preparing for this big shift, right? Because this is going to require a huge energy shift. Okay, and this could be that suddenly there's this opportunity to pursue something new. There's this promotion, like I said, or there's this, you're going to go after the raise. You're going to start the new business. You're going to start the new career. You're going to go on this health journey. Maybe you're going to start, with a different kind of physical fitness regimen, or whatever the goals are. This is kind of saying, like, I've set my sights on the summit of the mountain, and I'm ready to begin this path. And so that becomes kind of the challenge for us, is deciding, am I going to like this? Is this the right choice for me? Did I make the right? Maybe you're already on the path. Maybe we already took that big step, and we're just kind of now like, was it the right move? Or we're sort of anticipating what this is going to be like, and we're sleeping at night and we're thinking, I need to make a decision now. What do I do? Right? This is going to be a path that's going to require you to fight and grow and transform. This is the challenge before you. This is going to be your quest. And I think Spirit is offering you a gift of this new opportunity. It's kind of like giving the Ace of Pentacles, like giving you a ticket to ride. And, well, you've got to then get on the train or the bus or the boat or whatever it is and take the journey. Getting the ticket doesn't mean that you've taken the ride. Yeah. So I feel that this is really a big deal. This is going to be something that is going to require you to live and grow and change and work hard. And but there must be a reason why this is being considered right now. And I think that you're evaluating what adjustments I'm going to have to make in my life. If I'm going to take this new job or this new opportunity, or I'm going to move to this new place, what are the requirements? How much energy is it going to take from me? What am I going to have to give up? What adjustments am I going to have to make in life? It's kind of like you're taking this job that has more responsibility. Okay, well then you're going to have to pay more attention at work. You're going to have to maybe put in more hours. You're going to have to learn a bunch of new things, take some classes. Or there's going to be a lot more responsibility. I'm maybe going to not have such, the easier job with my friends. Maybe now I'm moving into a different department or something. Or if it's a physical fitness goal, it's the same thing. It's going to be a little bit less of what might be what might be fun and enjoyable now. It's saying, is this worth the trade-off? Maybe it's going to require more hours at work. That means less hours at home, right? So we're kind of evaluating that and judging that if it seems like it's worth the compromise, okay? And it may be, like I said, you're in the middle of some kind of a negotiation right now where somebody's offered you something and you're like, let me think on it for a night, And we need to know if this is going to be something that is good for us in the long run. Maybe in the short term we see it's going to be a lot of work. Is it worth all the effort? Is it going to lead to something good here? Am I going to enjoy the process, for one thing? I think you're somebody that likes the challenge, but you want to make sure that this is the right sort of compromise, because once you say yes to something, I feel like you go all in. Yeah, I feel like you go all in. So that is bringing us to our third position, which is the soul position. And it reveals sort of our private self. It reveals some of the landscape beneath the surface of your being here, right? And the Five of Wands. This is a card of fighting. I feel like you got a lot of fight in you. I feel like you're somebody that likes the challenge. You don't like to really sit still. You have very often, at least in my reading of your energy, you've had this ABM kind of motto, always be moving, right? And so I feel that you're kind of always, every process that we're involved in, we're thinking of like, how can I expand on this? How can I take another step? When you get a job and you're working there for a while, it's not like, this is good, life is perfect, this is going to be the rest of me. You're thinking, where do I go from here? What's the next step I'm supposed to take? This is the card of really reaching out with your hand to see what else is out there in life. It's kind of ambitious, sure. It may be a little competitive, sure. And I don't think there is anything wrong with that competition energy or that ambition, especially when you have a Six of Wands in the environment, which shows that you're ambitious and you're competitive, but in a way that is like, we're all in it together, we're going to do this as a team kind of thing, and you're not trying to step on anybody else in order to get to the top. If you get to the top, you're reaching back with your hand to pull everybody else up too. And that's kind of that's how you are, But this is that kind of, this is almost a hidden desire, though I don't think it's all that hidden from you. And this is the need for a challenge. This is the need for this is the need to reach out and grab something, from life. And I don't think you're someone who just sort of waits for something to come and be brought to you. Although this opportunity may be something that was kind of offered to you, or I think you've earned it either way. But I think that this is, because it's Saturn in Leo, this is something that feels, I don't know, it may be some of our hesitation is that it feels like it's a little bit too far beyond our capabilities right now. And maybe that's part of the challenge. Maybe you're like, yeah, the harder the better, right? Because it's going to bring out some major qualities in you. It's going to really require that you grow, like you're somebody that'll go to the gym and you'll set the treadmill to 10 miles an hour, and you'll just figure out a way to do it. I don't recommend that. I think that's way too fast. Or you'll set the weights really, really heavy, and you're like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to do it. So I think you set very lofty goals, and I think that's a good thing. You sort of shoot for the stars. You do, and I think very often you're able to hit those stars. You're hitting the bullseye a lot in life. I think this is a situation where we just want to make sure we're not biting off more than we can chew. And so there's this consideration. Again, that Libra energy, the Temperance card, both of those are very balanced energies, right? These are cards of balance and consideration and moderation and temperance and adjustments and weighing the options and trying to be centered and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's really important that you do that because we have this, well, all of the fire energy here is saying, this is going to be a lot of work. This is going to be a big challenge. Is it something I can handle? Am I capable of doing this sort of difficult challenge? Yeah. The card in the background here is position 4. It's the previous event. It's called the dwarf, but it's really something that's getting smaller in the rear view mirror. Okay. Sometimes this is karma. Sometimes this is a situation that's holding you back. This is the card of work. Okay. So what this is telling me is that this situation is part of your it's part of your physical existence, whether this is employment or career. It doesn't have to be. Maybe you're retired. Maybe you don't work. Maybe you're in school. Maybe you're working at home, running the home, or literally working from home. But this is a card that represents the way we are functioning in the physical world. Is something working, right? And I think that sometimes when things are working, we don't really want to tinker with them, right? So there's part of this energy that's still pulling you back that says, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We don't want to jeopardize the good functioning life that we have now. Maybe this is the idea too, that we're looking at the past a little bit. We do have the Queen of Swords looking at the past. So it feels like there's part of you that's looking at the past and is wondering if this is worth altering, if it is worth changing something, especially since we have a 3 of Pentacles plus the 2 of Pentacles gives us a 5 of Pentacles, if my math is right. And that 5 of Pentacles is, of course, change and instability. It's kind of like we're taking something here and we're sort of shaking it up a little bit, okay? But this might be the previous thing that we don't know if this is going to be a long-term success or not, if we're going to be happy here long-term. And so when there's this prospect of changing or starting a new path or starting this new thing, taking this ticket to ride and, well, riding, we don't know if we are interrupting the previous thing's growth and evolution, or if we're doing the right thing, we're adding to it, because this is a 3. This is still potential. Okay? So I feel like what you're considering moving away from, because if you take this new promotion, it means you're leaving the old position behind, right? If you move to a new place to live, it means that you're not living in the old place anymore, right? So there is something that's going to be getting smaller in the rearview mirror. And it's something that I think you're considering. If I stay here, could this be the path I'm supposed to be on? Could this potential really blossom into a wonderful, a wonderful future? Whether it's a relationship, a school thing, a job, a career, a vocation, maybe it's your YouTube channel, maybe it is the book that you're reading. We can use any example. If this is the book that I'm reading, okay, well, I've not yet completed the book. I don't know what the payoff is going to be. There's a potential here that this book's going to be really, really valuable to me. But I've been gifted this new book. Now I'm considering, well, maybe I should start this one, but I haven't finished this one yet. I don't know if this one would have been, this would have been the hit, This would have been all of it. This would have been the best thing I've ever done. But I'm thinking of kind of moving into this other, piece of literature. And so I think that's kind of where we're weighing the options here. What we know about this path, where do we see it going? If this is the relationship, the school thing, or, the old house, right? It's kind of, it's our connection to the past, which seems like it still seems like it's something that is pretty much right there on top. It's right still in the present, okay? But we're just wondering, like, am I okay to leave this thing behind? It's kind of like this was the machine that you were working on. You were trying to build a race car here, right? And it's kind of like, do I leave this thing unfinished in the garage and do I start this new project? Do I start working now not on building the car, but now I want to build the truck or something, right? Do I put this on hold? Was this a stepping stone for what's coming next? So there's sort of a reluctance to leave something that we've been working on, okay? But I think maybe we're looking at it a little bit incorrectly, that it may not be something we're abandoning and saying, I'm going to leave this unfinished. It could be that this was something that we were supposed to work on, and now this new thing is a stepping stone, and we're sort of adding on to this. And maybe it means that in the physical realm, we're leaving something behind. Sure, I'm not going to be doing that exact work anymore, but that was a stepping stone to what was next, So in a way, we're kind of building on that. But we might be a little bit attached to the physical manifestation of what this was. We don't want to leave that behind. It's kind of like when you're learning to ride a bicycle and you start out with the little kid's bike with the training wheels, and then we get this opportunity to sort of get a new bike, one that's a little bit bigger, fits us better, doesn't have training wheels. And we want to take this new thing. It feels like a natural progression, but we're looking at the old bike and we're thinking, I had some good times with that bike. Maybe I should have stayed with that bike and just kept riding it and developed myself on that bike. But we realize that it's a progression, that we're growing and expanding and we're moving forward, even though the physical materials, we're leaving the old bike behind. It's just going to be a piece of metal sitting in the garage until we donate it or give it to somebody else. And so it's kind of like that we get sort of attached to the physical manifestation of something, whereas this seems like it's an energetic growth for you. It's a progression of things. Okay, so even if this is the old job or the old relationship or the old house, it's not so much that we're leaving something unfinished, but that we have maybe we've done the work that we needed to do with it. And now it's time to take the next step, that the shift, the growth, and the kind of next level. Yeah. So I think this is something that is still weighing on your mind. If this, how attached we are to the material or to the physical world that's in kind of that's wrapped up in here. But position 5, the Giant, reveals your driving force, the dominant motivation, creative impulse, personal virtue that propels you forward. This is the card of harmonious change. We're trying to make sure that the choice in front of us right now is a harmonious change. If I'm changing something, I don't want it to just be a lateral move. I'm not going to give up my good bike now for a bike that's the exact same thing, just different, just new, right? It's still the same size, still got the training wheels. It's a lateral move. Why would I do that? So I feel like that's also what you're assessing right now. If this change is going to be a positive change in a forward direction, or if it's going to be a lateral move. Whether we're talking reading a book, driving a car, buying a car, a house, a relationship, taking a new job, taking a new bicycle, or, it doesn't matter what it is technically. What matters is how and why we're either going to do it or not do it. And so this is that card of wanting to make sure that if we put in all of this effort and we do the change, that it's actually worth it. It's kind of like you're living in an apartment. It's a nice apartment, good size, whatever, a few hundred square feet or whatever it is. And it's got all the amenities that you want. It's in a good location. But then you just find, like, you drive by, you see the sign that saying, now leasing apartments. And you think, ooh, apartments. I'll go look. And they have an apartment that's just like yours. Same size, same amenities, still a good location, right by the freeway or whatever you want. Why would you take that new apartment? Except because, well, it's new and it's exciting. It's kind of fun, but it's going to be a lot of work to move your stuff from one apartment to the other. And what's the benefit? It costs the same. It's going to cost you energy, time, effort, energy, and or money to move. There's no real benefit to doing the move, except to satisfy this desire that says, well, my old place is too familiar. Now I want something new. And so that's kind of where we're looking for the right kind of benefits. That's why we have the Libra energy, the adjustment. We're wondering if the benefits of this outweigh the cost. Okay. And that's where this change, this card of the harmonious change is very important. And this is this is kind of this is the choice that's looming above your head right now, This is right above you. This is saying, look, is this a change of course? Is this going to be a positive change of course? Of course, we have, our Capricorn references in both the 2 and the 3 of Pentacles. The 3 of Pentacles is Mars in Capricorn, saying, look, I've put in a heck of a lot of work. I've really fought my way to climb this hill. And now I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to switch to a different hill now and climb a different hill. This Jupiter in Capricorn energy here. So it's really about the attachment that we have, because we feel like I've put in a lot of work on this bicycle. Or we're saying I worked really hard to get that bicycle. I saved up my lawn mowing money for months to get that bike. And now I'm getting a new bike for Christmas or for my birthday, or I'm buying a new bike. It's kind of like, well, what about all the money I invested in this one? Where does that money go? Well, it wasn't investing in the bicycle, really. It was investing in you. You invested in yourself, and now you're about to invest in yourself again. Okay. So let's look at position 6, the Imago, the event, the immediate future, what's coming next. The immediate consequences, right? A lot of effort. Okay, 10 of Wands. We know that the immediate future is going to be taking on a huge amount of responsibility. This is time, effort, energy, and or money. This is where the path is leading you right now, and this is like you're going to have to spend the money to buy the new bike. You're paying the money to get the apartment, and you've got to move all your stuff. So it's taking time, effort, energy, and money. This is all the commitment that you're going to have to put into reading that new book, or learning that new skill, or all the investment you'll have to make if you take that promotion or you take that other job somewhere else. Okay? And even if it's a change of a job, right? That I put in a lot of time with that company. I put in a lot of hours, a lot of effort, learning the job, getting familiar, knowing the people, getting used to the work, and making a lot of progress there, working my way up. And now I'm going to move to this other company? What about all the time I spent at this last company? Where does that go? It wasn't an investment in the company. I mean, maybe it was in some way, but for these intents and purposes, it was an investment in yourself, and now you're investing in yourself further by taking the thing that's kind of next level up. Okay? And for some reason, I feel that this is happening very quickly. I feel like this is something where we don't want to really let it go. We don't want to sleep on it too long, because maybe the opportunity is going to pass us by. But this is the immediate future for you, the next steps for you, and it's committing yourself fully. It's putting in all the time, effort, energy, and or money that this situation requires. Okay? It's saying that, yeah, we've got to we've got to really step up, and we know it's going to be a lot of responsibility. It's going to be a lot of work. Okay. And so this is kind of like, this is the trade-off. You know, this is where that Libra energy, the adjustment card, is saying, well, what do I really value? Is putting in a level 10 amount of effort, is this going to be good? Is this the right thing to do? What does my higher wisdom and discernment tell me? Okay. We know it's going to be a major commitment. Okay. Now, Path of the Serpent, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. So position 7 is the persona, right? And this is our outward expression. This is kind of what people see in our face right now, and it's the Queen of Swords looking at the past. So I think a big thing here is you understanding, intellectually processing the ending of something. That's what the queens are doing. They're looking at the past, trying to understand either why something ended, how it ended, how I feel about it, or how do I let go of it so I can move to the future. So we're sort of reconciling the past here so that we can then be free and clear to go forward. It's kind of like at the end of the year, you do your taxes. You gotta rectify everything from the last year. You're done, and now you just focus on this year, right? And then in a few months, you got to start doing the taxes all over again. But you know, that's the life we live. And so the queens are looking at the past, and the queens usually explain how we deal with an ending. Like the Queen of Cups is going to feel the ending for a long time. It's a slow pulling off of the Band-Aid, and the Queen of Cups is always feeling the ending. The Queen of Wands is kind of very abrupt. And God, burn the bridge, see you later, sayonara, rear view mirror, I'm getting the heck out of here, I'm going forward. The Queen of Swords is a little bit different because I think we're trying to justify it. We're trying to use our mind to sort of make sense of it and convince ourselves that it was the right thing. We're trying to find the logic in it. We're trying to find the justification for it. Okay? And so this is, you know, I kind of use the analogy of the queens of like, this is how we leave the movie theater, you know? And the Queen of Wands will leave the movie theater and just say, I'm hungry, where are we going to go eat? You know, the Queen of Cups is going to leave the movie theater and is going to sit with the feelings. Gosh, that movie really, really moved me, and this is how I'm feeling from that movie, and it's going to be even days afterward. The Queen of Cups is still going to be feeling the movie and feeling all those emotions. The Queen of Swords is leaving the movie theater and trying to understand, like, what was the message there? What did I learn from that movie? You know, what happened? It was one of those movies that have a lot of psychological twists, you know? And so we're trying to figure out, like, what did it mean when they said that? And why did that happen? And what was the meaning of that thing on the wall? Or, you know, trying to figure out all those details, right? Focusing on kind of the more cerebral way, the more intellectual even way that something has affected us. Okay, and so when we're looking at the past now, and you're thinking of ending this, we want to understand, like, what did I learn from this? Is this the logical kind of next step for me to do, to take? What was the, you know, how did I grow through this situation? Let me try to understand intellectually all the details and all the things that happened here. Let me reconcile the past in my mind so that I can feel justified in moving forward, okay? And obviously when we're using the words like justifying something, it kind of leaves us some room to, it leaves a little bit of room for us to inject our bias, right? That we're trying to find reasons to do or do not do something, right? We're trying to rationalize a little bit. So I think that what we're trying to do is convince ourselves reasons why it's okay to leave this past thing and take this new opportunity. Okay, and maybe that's okay. Maybe this really is the right thing for us to do. And the really important thing is that we find that kind of, we convince ourselves, you know, we talk to ourselves, we have that conversation with ourselves. We try to understand what's going on and why things, you know, why things need to happen this way and what the significance is. Okay. And so I think that this is serving you very well, unless this becomes, we're trying to convince ourselves not to do something. that we're trying we end up talking ourselves out of taking advantage of this opportunity. Okay, so we have to be aware. We don't really want this energy to make the choices, but it's good to have that inner dialogue and to kind of to separate. And what the Queen does is separates itself from the emotions. Okay, whereas the Queen of Cups is just deep in the emotions, right? Eyeballs deep in the emotions. The Queen of Swords has risen above the waters and is floating in midair and is trying to have an objective and honest, truthful assessment of the logical path, the linear sort of movement here. Okay, so it is kind of an attempt at more objectivity. And to do that, we sort of separate ourselves from the emotions, and the emotions become just another object for us to look at. See, okay, that's part of it. Now, it's kind of like, well, why am I making this decision? Why am I ending this thing? Is it because I'm just so excited about the new thing? I feel like it's going to be more fun. So it's kind of that lateral move thing. Is there really a reason why? And objectively, is this a good idea? It's almost impossible to be objective about anything, right? We're spirit living a subjective experience, you know? So it's objectivity, I think, is impossible. But we can try, you know? And we can go through those activities to try to get more honest, truthful, authentic assessment of what's going on right now. Okay, so that's that card. The position 8 is the shadow. This is the event happening in your life that is uncovering this. Okay, these two positions of the spread are very intimately connected, as are these two. As are these two, as are these two, as are these two. Everything's connected, right? And it's just the way it goes. But these two really tend to hit hard. And this is kind of that feeling inside of you it's that almost hidden quality in you that's being brought out by the events happening around you. So we can see right now that something in your world is bringing out this competitive energy in you. It's almost like things have gotten a little bit too equal. You know, it's with the Six of Wands, this is a card of teamwork. This is the card of a victory, but it's kind of a group win. And it's almost like you feel like you're maybe blending into the rest of the world too much, and you're looking for something to kind of make you stand out again. So I feel like we're kind of looking for novelty. And that is even echoed here in these two. Like I said, these two positions are intimately connected, as are these two. And this is saying that, look, the prospect of a change feels very motivating. There's this impulse toward change always, I think, for you, right? That it's kind of like if I have the choice of kind of just staying still or moving in some direction, especially in a new and novel direction, I'm going to take movement every time. So we're sort of like, you know, we're almost restless. And we feel that the opportunity of a change really excites me. Whether it's a good change, a lateral move, whether it's just going to cost me a lot of money and a lot of work, but it's just me moving apartments from one apartment to the apartment next door even. I don't care. It's something to do, you know. And I feel that there's something happening in your environment that's making you feel more competitive. And it may be that, you know, you're just kind of looking for some way for you to stand out a little bit. I don't think you're overly competitive. I don't think that you're all that like cutthroat. You're not going to step over other people to get what you want or to get to the goal, you know. But you want to have a win, and you want to know that you're capable of doing something challenging, kind of from yourself or in your own energy. Does that make sense? Because this is a card that's kind of saying like we're all in this together, we're all a group, we're a team, and in a team there's no I in team, right? And so I think you're looking for a little bit more of that I. You know, I can do this, I can do something, I need to make a change. Maybe we feel that something, you know, when something starts to become too harmonious, when things start flowing too well, they start to feel eventually too routine. So this was, you know, something in the environment now that feels like it's been working very well, but now that's kind of boring, you know? And so we're looking for a little bit of novelty, a little bit something else. And so you get that job, you put in some time at that job, you get to know everybody, you get to know the work, and the challenge is over, and now it just becomes routine. It's a victory. You did it. You were successful at it. You're a valuable part of the team. And then it sort of just becomes, this harmony becomes a monotone, you know. And we're looking now for something to spark the creativity, or something new to kind of do. At least the 5 is like movement. The 5 is us reaching out and looking for something in life. Where the 6 is like, I've got it. I got what I was looking for. And we enjoy it for a little while. And then it's just like, where's the challenge now? Where's the pursuit? Where's the hunt, so to speak? And I feel like that's kind of what we're looking for now. And so there is this, almost the harmony of the environment right now is sort of giving us, or it's eliciting, it's drawing out of us this competitive 5 of Wands. Okay, so the environment is sort of pushing you to grow, and then we get the 6, and then okay, now it's time for a 5, and I'm going to do the 5, and then guess what? Eventually, we'll get the 6 again, and then that'll feel good for a time, and then it'll kind of lose its excitement, and then okay, it's back to a 5 again, right? And so life is just kind of going through 5s and 6, 5 and 6. Actually, like that. And well, that, of course, brings us up here to position 9. The Spectre shows your fears, worries, and concerns. And this is your superpower card. This is a very impulsive card, but it's one where, and when it's functioning properly, we trust our impulses. You're feeling this urge, this motivation to go and do this new thing. You trust it. The horse and the rider need to be one unit. Okay? And there's we don't separate the horse and the rider and expect it to function. They need to be together, trusting each other. So this is our impulse and our behavior. This is our intuition. This is our instinct, our gut feeling, and this is our conscious mind sort of trusting in that. You know, if the horse and the rider don't trust each other, you're gonna fall down. I guarantee it, right? And so what we're afraid of is that we're being too reckless. What we're afraid of is that we're just being like impulsive now. Oh, something new and novel. Oh, I'm just going to jump into it without thinking. And so we're trying to kind of hold ourselves back a little and say, whoa, wait a minute. Is this the right thing to jump into? Okay, so we're afraid of making the wrong move. We're afraid that we're going to be led astray by our impulse, instinct, or intuition into something that we're going to regret. And then we're going to be in this new place and we're thinking, I should have stayed at the old apartment. Okay? And so maybe it is a good idea to do what you're doing and take a little time to be thoughtful, because you do have a lot of fire energy. So it may be that, yes, this is the correct impulse. I think Spirit's saying, if we had the Princess of Wands, that would say, you're being reckless. You should put some space between your impulse and your behavior, okay? You've done that. So maybe the previous energy, maybe the mystery card is going to show us a Page or a Princess of Wands, because I feel like you did that. You put the space. You buffered your impulse to your behavior. And we've done the thoughtfulness. And we're thinking of all these different aspects. And then it's time for the rider to get back on the horse and leap into it. Because Spirit's saying that your impulse is correct, but it's a very good practice for you to take a look at all the angles first before jumping into it. So I think this is right on the money. This is perfect. Okay, but that's kind of the fear. That's our worry, is that we're going to be too reckless, that we're going to jump into something without thinking, and it's going to be, it's not going to be as fun as we think. But look at the next card. The next card is the Two of Cups. It is love, baby. The destiny, the event. This is you coming together with whatever this path is, and it's going to feel good. It's going to feel right. This is love. This is the urge to merge. This is going to be such a positive and enjoyable change or switch or energy upgrade or whatever you want to call it. This is going to be a good one. Okay? This is the culmination of your quest. The external event is you're coming together and bonding and uniting with this new thing. This is like you're going to love the new bike. You're going to love the new job. You're going to love the new book. You're going to love the new person, whatever it might be. It's a energy upgrade. It's a major shift here. And I think that this is going to be the confirmation. Once you get on this new path, you take that ticket to ride and you go and you take the ride, you're going to be so happy that you did. Okay? And so we realize that this is a positive change, a good move for you to make, but it's a good practice for you to sleep on it. But don't miss the boat. You have the ticket to ride. You know what time the boat leaves. Don't miss the boat. Okay? This is going to be love. You're going to fall in love with whatever this thing is. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card, right? Let's uncover this together. This is the guide, position 11, reveals what Spirit's trying to tell you. Higher self, inner teacher, deepest wisdom usually reveals a character quality that we have to develop in order to walk this path forward. It might be the Princess or Page of Wands here. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. I don't know. Maybe just clarity. Maybe it's going to be an ace of something. Yeah, maybe Ace of Swords could be. Well, let's see what we have. The World. The World card here is kind of that card that says patience. It's the card that says, look, everything's going to happen, is going to happen the way it's supposed to. We have to reach a conclusion. This is the card of conclusions and endings and like wholeness and the completion of something. So I feel that the message from your higher self is saying, don't jump into anything too quickly. Give something a little bit of time so that you can look at the different angles, but don't delay so much that you miss the boat. Okay, I think that's very important here, because we can spend all this time considering the virtue of a behavior, then we miss the opportunity to do the thing, and it's almost like, did we do that on purpose? Did we run out the clock here because we didn't want to make a decision? And then, of course, we missed the boat, and we said, oh, well, I wanted to get on the boat, but the boat left, and I couldn't get on it. Well, did you do that on purpose, right? So this is a card that's saying, let's be patient, and let's figure things out. Let's look at all the angles, but we have to make a decision, and we have to wrap this up. And I also feel that the message is saying that this is the part of your path that you're supposed to be on. Okay, this is how you are growing and expanding in your life. You can't just keep the old bike forever. That you're investing in yourself and in your spirit and in the world. Now, it's not about the old bike or the new bike. That stuff the pentacles don't really matter. What matters is the bigger picture. The bigger picture is you're leveling up. You got the new bike now. It's bigger. There's no training wheels. Okay, like you've upgraded. Yeah. Kind of an energy upgrade in a way. So I think that it's a very clear message, and I think that this is a green light for you. That's saying this is the way you're meant to grow and expand, and keep making progress in your spirit, in your soul, in your life, in this world. Right? So please let the message find your heart. Each card is a mirror. Each station is a temple of transformation, alternating between who you're becoming and the world you're creating. Remember, though, that the tarot does not dictate your future. It reveals the pattern of possibility. It invites you to co-create your destiny. If this reading has illuminated your soul, please share your reflections down below. Together we journey onward, ever upward and ever inward. And we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There is a link in the corner and a link down below. New readings for Aries Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together. That's cold.